Welcome to Hyrox Sunday. Today is finally the day when I'm competing in Hyrox Osaka. Am I prepared? No. Do I care? Not really. So let's see. Let's see how my first ever singles men's pro event goes with very little to no preparation. Okay, here we are. We finally made it. It's finally game day. We've arrived at the Intex Arena in Osaka to compete for men's pro singles. It feels pretty quiet. It's the last day. I don't know why they put the pro men's right at the end. But as you can see, you've got people just warming up, doing their runs, getting their little warm-ups in before the big race. But yeah, much quieter than earlier on in the day. Here they come! Let's go! Okay, the running track feels a lot more crowded than I thought it would do at this time. So what's super interesting is that they have one arena for running and then another area for the stations. So you come out, you run, then you go into the station area, you do your station, then you come back out and you run again. Oh, look guys, so this will be the final station, the wall balls. 101 of these before you finally cross the line to finish the race. This is the worst part of the whole race. You can just feel the pain. And as they finish, they get to run past the winner's line. Here we go, here these two are gonna finish as they slowly come to run past. And finally, you get to celebrate the finishing of the race. I may have bitten off more than I can chew today, guys, with deciding to do men's singles pro. I just jumped in straight into the deep end. It's my first singles event. What could go wrong? The worst case, I die. All right, so you can see on this side of the event is where they run, and then they cross over, come into the inn, and they come all the way to the other side of the event where you have your stations. So I've never seen it laid out like this, but very interesting. Oh my God. I think it's starting to set in now how much this is gonna hurt. But okay, let's go get changed, drop off my bags, and say some prayers. Next time you see me, guys, I'll be in hospital. I'll see you guys soon. Wish me luck. The ramen has arrived. So today is it's the day after the Hyrox, and yeah, it was tough. It was my very first time doing solo, and there were a few key takeaways that I took from it. Number one is just that it's not that enjoyable to do Hyrox alone as a solo. I guess unless you're like in the Elite 15 and you're really competing for like records and getting to that kind of top 1%, then I can understand it. But for most of us, we just want to go and have a new experience and have a goal to train for and to visit new cities. I much prefer doing it in like a doubles or a relay. It's completely different being in that start tunnel alone. It just feels a bit like empty. than when you're with someone else, and it feels more like, okay, you know, this is the moment that we've trained so hard for. Also, this was probably the least prepared I've ever been for a Hyrox, and I really felt it in my legs. My plan was to start slow, start very slow, let everyone race ahead, and then just keep my consistent running pace and slowly catch them throughout the race. And up until halfway, it was working perfectly. I started very like low. I was like 120th, then I became in the top 100, then top 90, 80, got to about 70, and then it was after the lunges that my legs just caved in and I started to drop down. So lunges, from the farmer's carry lunges and the wall balls just did me in, completely did me in. The singles Hyrox is just not for me. It's just not that enjoyable. Even if you win, like you're going to be standing on that podium alone. It's not as enjoyable as standing up there with your friend or with your partner. It definitely made it much less enjoyable as an experience. So today, my legs are absolutely cooked. I'm struggling even just getting up and down stairs. But yeah, I'm gonna have a few days of rest. So far, I've just arrived in Kyoto and it feels really, really nice. It feels like you've got the city life. It's much more of a city than I remembered it being when I came here 10 years ago. But 10 years ago, I came here as a tourist, so I was spending a lot of time in the old town, doing the touristy stuff, seeing temples. This time, I'm just going to be like living in Kyoto. So I'm going to see what the day-to-day living is like here. But the thing I like here is that they have, yes, they have the old town and the history and the heritage, if you want to see temples and stuff like that. But they also have the city life. Like, it's a small city, so they have all the trappings that you need from a city, like the Apple Store or nice restaurants or, you know, nice apartments. I booked 1 week in a hotel just to get a vibe of the city, and then we can decide after the week what we do, if we extend or if we move on. You can't beat a nice bowl of ramen. As far as my experience in Japan so far, it feels like it's a wonderful country to visit as a tourist. You know, there's a reason that it's one of the most popular destinations in the world for tourists. But it's a much more difficult place to live as a foreigner, especially if you don't speak the language. But I don't know, maybe it takes time. The longer that I'm staying, the more I'm acclimatizing, the more I'm enjoying my time here. And I can imagine that, you know, now it's like the heart of winter, it's very cold. But I can imagine in the summer or the spring, it must be amazing. And you know, the weather makes a huge difference. Although I guess the winter is also the best time for ramen. Not a lot of people speak English here. And the ones that do speak English, they're very shy. So it's not like you have to like force the English out of them. And their English is very broken and, you know, very basic. So thank God for ChatGPT being my translator. So it's a good way to just have a conversation with people, is to just, you speak English, ChatGPT will translate to Japanese, they speak Japanese, it will translate to English. It does slow things down a bit, but I don't know, it's also kind of nice that because they can't say so much, a lot of the discussions that we have are very direct. You skip a lot of the small talk. But a few other things that I've noticed is just, number one, I love the train system. The metro system here is amazing. Everything is so clean. The train rides are like quiet, you know, people don't talk. It's not like when you're in the UK and if you get on the train, you'll get some kids shouting and screaming, or it's really here, it's just the tourists that you see that are just talking loudly and everyone's just looking at them like, can they shut up? But yeah, it's not a thing. If you're going to talk on the metro, you have to talk very quietly. You're almost whispering to the person next to you. But it's not like you just talking across the carriage, hey, how's your day? Where should we go now? What should we eat? What do you want to do? Yeah. And I like that. It's a very peaceful society. And the other thing I've noticed is just like how elegant everyone is. Everyone dresses very well, I think. They're not wearing a lot of big brands, a lot of flashy clothes. You know, you can't really tell what brands people wear because everything they wear is like, has no marks, no branding, very muted colors, blacks, navy blues, gray. It gives an aesthetic to the city. The other thing I would say is that from a cost perspective, I mean, I've just been lucky that this is probably the best time financially to visit Japan, probably for the last 10 years. With the drop in the price of the Japanese yen and the rise of the pound in recent weeks, everything feels a lot cheaper than it did, especially when I came 10 years ago. Oh my God. 10 years ago, the cheapest accommodation I could find would be about £50, and that would be to stay in a hostel in like a bunk bed. Now, you know, for £30, I can have my own hotel room. in a nicer hotel, like a 4-star hotel. So, so yeah, I'm definitely feeling the advantages of the currency fluctuations. And you can also see the way like the tourists are shopping a lot. If you go to every Apple store, it's packed. I just passed the Louis Vuitton store and there's like a 1-hour queue outside in the cold. People are just queuing in the cold to go and give their money to Louis Vuitton. Because, you know, the currency conversion, you save on £1,000 phone, you know, it's costing me £700. That's 300, that's like 30% saving. Plus add on the 10% tourist tax that you can claim back. So you can really make some good savings here. So if you're actually thinking of doing some like a big ticket purchase, you might basically get a free holiday. Because if you come out here and you spend like £5,000, you know, you probably save £2,000 and that'll pay for your holiday. You know, I don't really go out of my way to make videos. I just try to document day-to-day life. And, you know, sometimes there's a lot of things going on in life and sometimes life is a bit more calm and a bit more boring. So I'm not going to force it. When something cool happens, I'll be sure to document it and let you know. And otherwise, you can just see what day-to-day living is like and the challenges that come with it, especially living here in Japan. Alright guys, I'm going to finish my soup and I'll speak to you guys later. Have a good day.